what it is, man. Detroit versus everybody, man. Detroit, we rep the hardest, man. We gain the hardest. You know what it is, man. Detroit, CJ, holla at your boy when we get home.
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you. Get 18% off. We out. All right, man. Oscar De La Hoya just did an interview with Ring TV on YouTube, and I put the interview in the description on the source link, and he just exposed Ryan Garcia about what really happened. He even said that Ryan Garcia was offered way more than $200,000 for this 4th of July fight. But let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And basically what he said, Ryan Garcia ducked Jorge Linares. She asked him who was Ryan Garcia supposed to be fighting 4th of July, and he said Jorge Linares. Now, my whole thing about it was I didn't think Linares was going to be able to be here by the 4th of July. That's what the rumor was. Now I understand that Linares will be able to make the next fight that he's going to fight. When I heard he chose Devin Haney. So I don't know if he, I heard behind the scenes that Ryan Garcia still did duck Linares, and that's why Linares called out Devin Haney, and they supposed to be fighting. All right, Devin Haney didn't go looking for Linares. Linares, when he couldn't get Ryan behind the scenes, he went to go try to get Devin Haney. So Oscar talked about a lot of things. He said basically Ryan is getting some bad advice from his counsel. He got a lawyer who looked over the contract. He said at the time, and probably still holds up today, that was the most lucrative contract for a prospect. And he's just getting some bad advice. He said he was offered way more than $200,000 to fight on the 4th of July. Which she was like, was it Mares? Was it this guy? And he said it was supposed to be, or Mares, Linares, or, he said it was supposed to be, Linares, and he just straight up ducked, and that's what I heard from people at Golden Boy. He straight up didn't want to fight. I mean, at the end of the day, Oscar said he don't have any issue with putting Ryan in with Tank or putting him in there with Devin Haney. He said if they want to make that fight, we can for sure make that fight. But he said, I want to be able to make sure that Ryan Garcia is ready. He said, I done built up a lot of fighters. He said, we know what we doing over here. We had Deontay, we had Jermell Charlo. I'm going to speak on what he said about him. He said, we built up a lot of stars from the beginning of their career. And he said, we just want to make sure Ryan is ready to take that next step. He said, Linares sent me a video of training. He said he sent me a video sparring, getting it in. And he said, man, I'm not sure that Ryan can beat him. He said that I'm not sure. He said, as a promoter, you hope Ryan beats him. But he said, I'm not sure Ryan beat him. He said Linares is looking good. He was looking like a machine to sparring. He said he even drove down and had an 8-hour meeting with Ryan Garcia trying to get him to take this fight. So he said it's not Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia just getting bad advice. It's probably his mom, probably his dad, it's probably his lawyer. It's probably his personal manager. And remember, Ryan Garcia's parents was stopping him from sparring because the sparring was getting too vicious. And Oscar said, I want the best for Ryan. You know what I'm saying? He said, I like the kid, but he just getting some bad advice. He said it was a lie that he only got offered $200,000. You know what? Excuse my neck hurting. I'm going to believe Oscar. Because they offered Amanda Serrano, I think Chris Mannix said they offered her like $400,000. But it was more than $200,000. So if they offer Serrano $400,000, why won't they offer the main event $400,000, $500,000? And she actually said, is it true that he only was getting $200,000 and they asked for $5,000? The contract said $200,000. And he wanted $500,000. He said it's not true. He was getting offered way more than $200,000. So it just simply boils down to Ryan Garcia don't want to fight nobody. And now that he chose to pass up on Linares, now that it sounds like Devin Haney gonna take the fight, it's basically, all that shit he was talking about. I want to fight Devin. I want to fight Tank. I want to fight the best. I want to prove I'm the best. Either he don't really think he ready, or his team don't really think he ready. And if he ain't ready to fight Linares, then he not ready to fight Tank. Straight up and down. So, like I said before, he ain't really had a step up fight. His coach said the same thing. Like, we ain't beat nobody. We ain't fight on title eliminators, no world qualifiers. He said we haven't beat nobody, so we need to get down to business and prove that what we put in the work we put in the gym is really, really working. And Ryan has got better. What he fought Jason Velez, and before he fought a guy with Eddie Reynoso and Canelo team. So they did say that Virgil Ortiz is coming back July. I think he said 24th or somewhere Springs. They trying to see if they can have fans there. They said they almost close to finalizing Canelo opponent. They're trying to figure out if it's going to be New York, L.A., or California, Las Vegas, and if they can have fans or not. So he did kind of give a brief update as far as that. But basically what it boils down to is Ryan Garcia don't want to fight nobody. And when you don't want to fight nobody, the oldest trick in the book is to price yourself out. But he spoke on Jermell Charlo. He said that Jermell Charlo was telling the round table, I can't remember where it was, but Sean Porter, I think, was there. He was telling, round table that he was talking to that he signed his release from Golden Boy because they didn't give him the Canelo fight. They promised him Canelo, then they gave it to Kirkland. Oscar said they stole Jermell Charlo from him. That's what he said. And he said, because she asked him about, Charlo trying to recruit Ryan Garcia to PBC, and he said, well, he's not telling the whole story. He said at the time he's making $100,000 with us, fighting 8 and 10 rounders. You know what I'm saying? He said he wasn't even fighting 12 rounders, which then was some really, really good money for an 8 or 10 round fighter. So, and Charlo said, when I went to PBC, I started making 10 times more than $100,000. And I think when he switched over, he became a world champion. So I think he fought Vanez. No, I think Vanez was before he left the Golden Boy. I mean, after he left Golden Boy, but he basically said that PBC stole Charlo from him. Now, he never promoted Jermell Charlo, I don't believe. I don't remember. So I know Shelly Finkel at one point promoted Jermell Charlo. And then he turned into a manager. He had to release him, and how that goes. So basically he got at Charlo, for saying that. And he kind of, basically still saying that it's still a little bit of, sour grapes between them. But, it don't seem, he said, families fight. He said, obviously Twitter is the new thing, and that's kind of how they doing. But, he just saying Ryan, really he talking to Ryan, people that's helping Ryan make his decision, and I think he's straight. Ryan was lying about that $200,000. I just think Ryan didn't want to fight Linares. How impressive Linares looked right before his fight, and, he looked like 135 is his home, not 140, and, I think it's just boiled down to he don't want to take that fight. I heard that he wanted to fight Morris, he wanted to fight Gesta, he wanted to take a tune-up fight before fighting Jorge Linares, and that's where the issue went in. I think they wanted him to fight Jorge Linares now for the money he's getting, and when he said y'all wanted to fight somebody else, they said no, but they said if he keep turning down fights, we'll keep trying to find a fight that he absolutely likes, so it don't sound like nothing is really, in the works. And also, I think Oscar also put out on Twitter that Virgil Ortiz is his best fighter. He's gonna be a world titleist, and he the next guy. But he did also speak on Ryan Garcia pulling power, and Ortiz don't have that. That's just something that you have or you don't have. It used to be when Ray Leonard was fighting on TV. It used to be you got the gold medal. Now everybody know who you is. Now it's a little bit different because most American fighters don't care about the gold medal. You know what I'm saying? So where do you get, a lot of these dudes skipping the Olympics, so where do you get your popularity from? So now Ryan is building a popularity on social media. He can give a social media class, him and Adrian Broner. They can really not box again and give a social media class to athletes how to build your brand. Ryan Garcia is more the safe way. Adrian Broner a little bit more the X-rated way. But they both got a future in marketing boxers, especially as we going deeper and deeper in the social media era. And he said, basically, Ryan a good fighter. I want the best for him, and I want him to succeed. And he got something that Ortiz don't. He got a super duper fan base. And Oscar want to get the most out of it, but Ryan, basically getting bad advice. And he said that Ortiz is the dude that's gonna be the next hot shot. He is the next hot shot, not Ryan. He said this on Twitter. And he said that, Ryan Garcia basically getting left behind, and they're gonna ride Virgil Ortiz. People saying Virgil is working and Ryan is talking, but at the end of the day, Ryan, Virgil Ortiz can go and be a welterweight champion, and and Ryan Garcia still be the more popular fighter. So they got to find a way to make Ryan happy. Ryan just got some people in his ear giving him bad advice. But I knew when I heard that his parents said he was sparring too hard, and they would stop the sparring, that it was going to be an issue as far as opponent picking. But he don't believe the shit he's saying. If it was up to him, maybe they'd let that stallion run around. If it was just up to him to make the final decision, he's still a boy. It's not a man. You can make the same case for Devin. Devin Daddy's still making decisions for him. These dudes ain't men. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of prospects that's daddy in their ear. At some point you gotta let a man make his own decision. But when it's hinging on people wealth and people well-being, you want to make sure you make the right decision and be cautious. And I'm not knocking prospects that want to take the cautious route and they want to take 20, 30 fights before a world championship. Michael Nunn did it. Marvin Hagler did it. a lot of fighters had 20, 30, or 30, 40 plus fights. Like I said, a few fighters had them amount of fights before, you know, they had a title shot. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the route Ryan want to go, I have no issue with it. But don't sit here and open your mouth and be talking shit like you with it, but then behind the scenes you pricing yourself out. That's becoming too much of a thing. David Benavidez doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people on PBC doing it. Some people on Top Rank doing it. People on DAZN doing it, obviously. So, you know, for Ryan Garcia, man, just shut the fuck up and move how you gonna move. You know what I'm saying? It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. If you want to take your time, you want to wait till Lopez and Teofimo and Devin Haney all move down and move up, and you want to get a vacant belt, and with your fan base, with your extremist fans, it ain't gonna make no difference. You know what I'm saying? Now it's hard. It's hard to do this. What I'm about to say. Now when you have an extremist fan base, especially Mexican fans, and you got them turning on you now, you done did something that's hard to do. You had Canelo that done popped hot, you know, with drugs and illegally wrapped his hands in certain states, and you know what I'm saying, then lost to Mayweather every round, and you know, beat up another fighter in Mexico that was way smarter than him because he cheated on his chick, and they still ain't turned on Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? So for you to kind of start to turn the tide where fans are starting to turn on you, and some guys that's mad apologists are starting to say, you know, they starting to take the Virgil Ortiz and starting to ditch you. You really done messed up, homeboy. Homeboy, you need to just start doing it. But everybody's starting to see how blatant it is. It's very, very blatant that he don't want to smoke. I'm telling y'all what they said. He wanted to tune up before he fought Linares. And I'm guessing Golden Boy didn't want to accommodate that tune-up with Mares or Augusta. So Oscar exposed him. He straight up ducked Jorge Linares, man. So, hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out, business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Links in the description. Want to make a donation to the channel, Cash App, PayPal in the description. Best way to donate is share the video. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you guys think about Ryan Garcia and Oscar De La Hoya exposing him. I put that interview link in the description of the source link. It seems like it's going to be more parts coming to the interview as well too. So if you don't check in the description, Ring TV on YouTube has it one time for the one time. And check our Boxing News playlist. We gone.